Hello and welcome to another edition about Heaton Lodge Junction's extension, and I'm actually at PECO, as if you haven't already guessed, and I'm with Steve Haynes, who's head of sales at PECO. So thank you, Steve, for inviting me. We're going to go in the factory now and we're going to look and see how track is made, so keep watching. So we're inside the PECO factory at the minute. I'm with Steve Haynes. And Steve, just tell me a little bit about this, because when I originally made all the concrete track for Heaton Lodge, I had to thread all these different sections onto the rails. I didn't have any fingers after about 2 months, but I see here, obviously you're producing it in bulk for the market, but I think that was because you had a lot of call for it, didn't you? You had a lot of people asking you to produce it in this format. Is that right?
It is true, yes. I think it's fair to say that modelling in O-scale has become steadily more popular as the years have passed by.
Yeah.
And with the introduction of more modern image models, diesel locomotives and rolling stock, the popularity of that period of modelling for O-gauge it's been increasing continuously.
Yeah.
We had noticed sales of our IL715 concrete sleeper track bases increasing, but we were also very conscious of the fact that people were commenting just how tedious and how difficult it was to make.
Correct.
And we felt that there would be the time when we would have to consider making it into a ready-made flexible track.
Yeah. Yeah.
The most expedient way of doing that, rather than making a brand new tool, is to modify the tooling for the concrete bases. And that's what we've done. So we've taken the existing tooling, modified it so that it can be adapted to be produced in the way that you see here, where we're laying out the various bases on the flexible track tool, and then the rail is then dragged through the rail fixings to create
that is just so much easier.
It's better for everybody, certainly for your fingers and everyone
certainly
else's
for my fingers and everybody else's. But what's interesting is I find this really easy to lay. You know, I've laid a lot of this, which PECO kindly donated for the Heaton Lodge extension project, and it's so easy to lay. It's just really easy to lay.
Well, we get a lot of very nice comments about our flexible track. Around the world, there are many brands of flexible track, and they all have their own characteristics. But I think, generally speaking, people appreciate the stability of our track. I mean, this is very robust, and we're particularly proud of our flat bottom O-scale. It's a very accurate, detailed track system. The rail fixings on this particular track represents the pandroll clip very clearly, which is a key feature of concrete sleeper track. And when it's laid and ballasted and weathered down,
it looks fantastic.
You know from your own experience,
I do,
how good it looks.
It really does look the part. No, that's great. I really appreciate that. Thanks, Steve.
No, you're welcome.
So, Steve, this is where we actually make the rails, and I understand that this is actually delivered from West Yorkshire, a company that actually makes the rails for you in West Yorkshire.
Well, basically, we buy the wire from Europe, and that's delivered to our colleagues in West Yorkshire, who take the wire and put it through a set of rollers to create the profile of the actual rail itself. And then when they've done that, they deliver the coils of rail to us. And here you can see what we do with it. We're actually putting the rail through this machine, and through a series of rollers, it's effectively trying to straighten the wire because there's a bias to it. It wants to turn in the direction of the coil, so we're trying to take that bias out of it by putting through a series of rollers.
Got you.
And then we crop the rail according to the task in hand, and so we have various tools that allow us to crop the rail in a certain way.
And this is O-gauge rail, isn't it? This.
Or you know what?
Oh, it doesn't matter, does it?
No, I actually didn't check to see what rail we've got.
No, it doesn't matter actually.
This is not O-gauge. So the principle's the same.
Yeah.
It's only the very large, heavy-duty rail for the large garden scale that's not prepared in the same way.
Right. So what's this machine doing, Steve?
So it's basically, think of it like a slicer. It's cropping the rail to a certain length, and if needed to a certain angle, but it's just cutting off sections of rail so that we get the required length. If you think about PECO turnouts, and you think about what comprises a turnout, all the different lengths of rail, whether it's point blades or the check rails or the frog area, they all have to be cut to a certain length. We've got a series of machines that do that for us here.
That's incredible. So we're actually looking at the raw material that comes in. It's just granules, isn't it, Steve?
Yeah, it's just plastic granules and a mixture of virgin plastic, and we also blend it with some regrind plastic where necessary. I'm not quite sure. I think this is.
And this forms up the sleepers.
Yeah, so anything we make out of plastic. Yeah, this is the basis, and it's melted down to become a liquid, and then inserted into the mold tools.
Got you. So we're down on the engage section, and we're just making, Steve, we're making set track here.
Yeah, this is the ST11, the straight set track section, and what we are doing here is insert molding. So the rail parts, which have already been cut to size, which you saw on the other machine, are now being placed into the insert mold tool. So what happens here, that Claire puts the two sections of rail into the tool, and then the machine is injecting liquid plastic, molten plastic, that traps the rail in place within the tool, and it comes out as one piece.
That's incredible.
So rather than inserting the rail manually, it's molded within the plastic itself. And as you can see, every piece is inspected for quality as it comes out. What will happen after these have been made, being set track, they need to have joiners fitted. So they go to a second unit where the joiners are fitted, and then packed and then ready for sale. Very easy, because there are no moving parts obviously on a piece of plain track, so there's no real assembly involved.
Got you. Do you do much export of the Engage, just out of interest, or is it mainly a UK market?
Well, the biggest market for us is the UK market, but we export up to 30% of our production. HO00 is the biggest, most popular scale, but N scale is very popular in the US. We sell a lot of our Code 55 in the US. And in Europe, particularly places like Germany, where we are quite a dominant supplier of Engage track to the German market.
Well, we're making, get the camera straight, we're making...
This is N scale Code 55 flexible track, the SL300S. So this flexible track is insert molded as opposed to manufactured in the way that you saw earlier with the rail being fed through on the machines. So like the other track pieces you saw, this is a one-piece molding. So it's a big tool, therefore a bigger machine, greater pressure, and what you get is a one.
And does it need the greater pressure because the track is a much bigger piece? Rather than,
I presume, it's because the plastic is going to be pushed over a much longer distance. I mean, there are various speeds on the tool, which, so the plastic has been injected at different points along the tool. But it's still a lot of pressure being put in there.
Track here?
Well, this is our 00 set track. This is the ST200, the standard straight, similar to the ST11.
The Engage we just see.
So the rail parts are being placed in the tool, and the molten plastic has been injected around the rail, so that it comes out as one piece, integral one piece. And then when these are finished, they'll go up to the other unit for the joiners to be fitted.
So this is actually injection molding the plastic as we speak.
So the plastic is delivered to us as granules, and the granules are fed through the top of the machine. They're heated up so they become molten, they become liquefied. And then under high pressure, and we're talking very high pressure, it's injected around the metal parts within the tool, the two halves of the tool, and then as it comes out, the plastic is set. The rail parts are firmly and permanently fixed within the plastic parts.
So Steve, we're in the tool room at the minute in the PECO factory. So just tell me what these machines, basically, we don't want to go into detail, but what do they actually do?
Not being the engineer, I can't talk about it in so much detail, but effectively what you've got here is probably the southwest of England's best equipped tool room of any engineering business.
I'm going to say, I mean, it's just incredible. It really is. It's proper high tech.
It is. I mean, what you're seeing here are wire eroding machines, where we have machines that laser cutting machines, and many other machines used for the production of tooling. We produce mold tools here, insert mold tools. rail part tools, all kinds of tools. And not only do we manufacture them here, but we have to maintain them.
Yeah.
And we have a small but highly skilled team of engineers here that produce all the tools for PECO products and maintain them. And it's a constant process of improvement and investment. And,
it's just such what's the word? Not a relief, but it's just such a nice change that everything isn't made in China.
Yeah.
That you guys actually make everything yourself, which is just, you know, you must be one of the very few manufacturers in the UK that actually do it in this marketplace.
Well, in the model railway business, of course, we are the only real manufacturer in the UK. I mean, in the scale that you see here. And this tool room has expanded over the years. When I first started, it was a fraction of the size it is now, but we've had to expand because we needed to invest.
Right.
And these machines don't come cheap.
No, I'm sure they don't. I mean, so what? Do you mind me asking what this one does? Do we know?
Well, this is the wire eroding machine. So, what have we got in here?
It's a sink eroder. So it's an electrode, and what we're doing is we're adding some weld inserts to the back of the Code 75 ball head.
Oh yeah.
So that the rails may be welded in position for assembly reasons.
Yeah.
Perfect. So the electrode goes into dielectric fluid. We'll have a positive terminal to the head here, and then a negative to the strap, and it completes the circuit and ablates the material, so it never actually physically touches the job.
That's absolutely amazing.
It's like alchemy.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. Where are these actual machines manufactured, just out of interest? Are they German or?
These ones are Japanese.
Are they? Right.
Yep. We've got a big relationship with Sodic. We have our German machines around the corner, which hopefully Billy will have set up for you in a minute.
Yeah.
So we'll get some copper flying off.
Oh, well done. Okay.
That's
good.
Fantastic.
Good.
Just so the tool machine shop of PECO.
Yeah.
So we're at another machine now. Sorry, what did you just say about?
Oliver's programming a print board, which is how we spray with laser jet printers the sides of wagons and anything else that requires detailed painting.
Incredible. So, quick update on the power station building. I've glazed it, but then realised after I've glazed it that, of course, it still remains for me to paint the generator building at the front, and of course, I need to put the frames in. So, I've created an obstacle for myself in that I'm going to have to mask all this glazing off. I've done it with Perspex, by the way, and Tim Horn made some beautiful, intricate frames to go inside these windows. But unfortunately in transport, I broke them, so I just couldn't use them, which is a shame. So what I've done is I've just used, in fact, that's one of the original frames that Tim did, which is off Ferry Bridge Power Station, I believe. So what I'm going to do is just add some new frames at the front, but these are going to be so difficult to paint because, as I've just said, I've already done the glazing already. But it's coming on. I'm really pleased with it. It'll be, when it's all got all the detailing, all the pipes, there's tons of stuff to add, which of course is what I really enjoy. It'll be spectacular. The only thing is, I've realised that the height of it's too high to go in the lift. And of course, we're in a basement of an old factory, so going up one floor, it needs to go through the lift, and I've built it 3 inches too high. So what I'm going to have to do, I think, is just tip it on its side when I put it through the lift entrance. But anyway, that's for the future. I'll worry about that later, but take note of it when I go forward with the other buildings. So yeah, it's coming on, and it'll look fantastic when all the details added, and I'll be updating you on that in the next couple of videos. So here we are at Railway Laser Lines with Steve Smith, who's building the fantastic, in fact, it's just awe-inspiring building of Healey Mills Depot, which I think we talked about, Steve. How long was it ago?
We did.
2 or 3 years ago?
It must be a couple of years ago when we spoke at Getz regarding the towers and Healey Mills.
We did.
We've done the towers, so obviously now we're in the process of making Healey Mills.
Yeah.
It was a depot that I never actually went round when I was a youngster. Never went round, so this is quite interesting, having to rely on Google Images and Google Maps and everything for pictures, etc. But we're getting there.
It's just so intricate, and the detail is phenomenal, because we're going to be putting the LED lights in under the or the lights in under the where is it?
Inspection pits.
Inspection pits. That's
so it was a 3 road at this end, because obviously the admin building was here.
Yeah.
And then a 4 road at the other end, but obviously the 4th road was an end stop.
Correct.
So you had a stores area here.
Yeah.
So the inspection pits, 3 lanes, the full inspection pits. They're over 1 metre long. It's the longest pit I've made in O
Is
gauge.
it really?
Yeah. The Blythe pits that I've got were just under 1 metre. These are just over 1 metre.
Yeah.
There's single LED lights in them. They'll all light up, and I can quickly show you.
Oh yeah, let's have a look.
That. So they light up.
Let's have a, oh, look at that.
So they'll light up.
Fantastic. I mean, this will make such a great cameo.
Oh yeah.
Because there's just so many scenes you can portray inside a depot such as this.
So they'll all light up, and obviously then, so this is a push to fits rail system that I've designed and used. So there's no glue involved. So we've just got to take all the pits back out, weather them, and then we'll put them all back in. And then obviously then there's a stage 2 floor and a stage 3 floor, which then brings it up to rail height. So it all brings it up nice to the edge, and then it'll all be weathered. So there's four main supports that go through the depot, and then it had 6 alternate supports. And I think,
that's true to scale, isn't it? That's exactly as the original was.
And I think this one here had another rail system down there for the jack, the lift that went all the way along. So we'll have a go at doing that. Yeah. There's 48 roof supports.
Flipping heck.
Yeah. So I'm still just debating on how we do that.
Let's have a look at the outside, because you've done the.
So last year we did a sample test.
And this, let me just interrupt you one sec, because so many people watching this who have seen the real Healey Mills building will recognise this outside straight away, because it was really prominent. Everybody kind of recognises that. Is it corrugated iron?
Yeah, corrugated, brickwork and corrugated, and obviously it had then the vents. Here, which I didn't do on that, but obviously I'll get some 3D printed vents to do.
And this is we're looking now at the 4 doors at the front. Which,
unique design to Healey Mills. I've never seen that on any other depot, so managed to get some drawings of those. So they've done there. I've done a painted sample around there if you wanted to have a look at that.
Fantastic.
And just weathered it slightly just to see. So the internal had brickwork and cladding, so we've done the cladding effect. I'm not quite sure whether we'll stick with that or do something slightly different, but it's there. And obviously we've got to, so this is all going to be dismantled. It's all just slotted in at the minute, because obviously the inspection pits have got to be done. Yeah. And obviously because of the weight of the locos, you need to have some support with the baseboard. So underneath there's 5 supports. Yeah. And then the cutouts for the inspection pits, literally just a slot in. So the weight is then supported on the baseboard.
Got you.
Because otherwise you can't rely on 30 kilograms on 3 mil.
Yeah. Well, I've actually created its own. This is going on one of my metal fabricated trolleys, but it's going on its own one, so it's going to drop into it, so it aligns itself exactly with the level of the rest. Because I want this really next to the public, because it's just such a fantastic structure.
And by the time the roof's on and everything and all, it's
and some people watching will be familiar with this building as well, which is the
admin side,
the admin building.
I presume it was the admin building.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah,
it was.
I remember lots of people working in this and walking over the bridge, which I'm building as well.
Did you ever go around the depot?
No, I never went round the depot, and I don't
know anybody who did.
So, no, I was on. Well, the thing is, there was only one access point, and that was over that bridge I just mentioned. So you got caught straight away. You were never going to get in there. So
walked down the bank many a time.
That's it. We used to sit on the bank outside, and just watch the locos go in and out of the shed. But that's
that'll certainly phenomenal. That blends in at the end, and that'll make it a nice feature as well.
Yeah, it will.
Not quite finished. There's a few more bits to do.
Yeah,
some parts to go on the roof, etc. But it's as good as done.
It is.
Yeah.
And this together with your lighting gantries, which are just epic. I have had more comments about those lighting gantries.
Have you sorted out the lights yet?
No, not yet. I've not gone on to that stage. I've got a lot on my plate at the minute. So, but the lighting gantries are just
I haven't had a look yet.
So, absolutely fantastic. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, looking down here,
that's
through the doors.
You can imagine when it's all done, and you've got your locos in there, and it's all weathered, and it'll bring back those memories, which is what
Which is what it's all about. Yeah. So, and as you know, the site that I'm building, the extension that I'm building, is just kind of a rendition of, Healey Mills, but it incorporates a lot of the things that were there, albeit not in the right locations. But that's no matter.
Hence why I put a 56 in there. So
I saw that.
I did have a 60 in there, but
can you miss
I don't think you ever had a class 60 in Healey Mills. Inside,
no,
because it would have been. I can't remember when they knocked it down. 2000.
It was 2000. No, I thought it was about two. Yeah, I think it was 2012. You're right, but I think it was 2004 when they actually finished.
Yes.
Finished using it.
Yeah, it stayed derelict for quite some time.
It did.
Which is good, because that's where a lot of the photos have come from online, when people have managed to get in and take a load of photographs. So hence, so
that's great. All right, Steve, that's brilliant. Thanks ever so much for that update.
Thanks for coming to see us.
No, pleasure. It always is.
Hopefully, we'll progress as.
We'll have it done soon, and well, not
soon.
Not soon, but it doesn't matter. We've got loads of time, so we're all right. But thanks again.
No, you're welcome.
So that's it for this week. Thanks again for watching. I just want to say a massive thanks to Steve Haynes and Ben Arnold of PECO for letting me film inside the factory. Again, thanks to Steve at Railway Laser Lines for progress on the Motive Power Depot. Lots in next week's video. Just remains for me to say thanks again for watching. Please like and subscribe, and any comments, really appreciated. I answer them all. So thanks again, and I'll see you next week.